All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for bearing with me here as I'm just a little bit late for today's live stream. I actually just got back from church. So, feeling healthy, feeling happy, feeling good. I hope you guys are all having a great Sunday morning. All right, 1 second. Let me just figure out some audio issues. There we go. And we got it all fixed. There we go. All right, guys. So let's get on to the stream today. Again, thank you so much. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Let me know where you're listening from. Let me know what time it is there. I love hearing when people are up late or people are up early. Usually we start these streams midway through the day, but we usually start a little bit earlier on Sundays. And I know West Coast individuals, so I'm in Canada, but West Coast individuals in Canada, the United States, up super early. And I love to hear it. So thank you so much, guys. Today we're going to be getting into a topic that is, if you've been listening to any of these live streams or if you've been following the videos, something that I think is incredibly important and gets more and more important every single year. And why is that? Because heart disease in and of itself is increasing year after year, almost exponentially. If you were to look at the graph of those individuals of all age groups, of all genders, doesn't matter, of all areas, regions, backgrounds, it does not matter. If you were to look at the studies and if you were to look at the numbers throughout the entire world, no matter who you are, you're not safe from this. Heart disease is going up and up, and that is 100% not to scare you. That is just the facts. All right, and there's a number of reasons why that is. Let's talk about them really quickly before we get right into the foods that are going to help to lower blood pressure. One of them, all right, a lot of people dealing, let's just start with it, high blood pressure. Blood pressure rates in all areas of the world are, astronomical. Most of the individuals who are on medication for some sort of heart-related issue, whether it be acute, usually chronic, is going to be blood pressure or cholesterol. A lot of the times that is what you'll see, and a lot of times you'll see blood pressure medication. Joshua, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining in chat again today. Good to see you. Saju, thank you so much. I see you there. You had posted a comment earlier. Thank you so much. But here's the thing, guys, and feel free to ask any questions, of course. That's what we do on these live streams. But here's the thing, guys. With blood pressure, a lot of people associate heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol with those individuals over 50, over 60, all right, 70 and older, all right? And it becomes a problem the older you get. The new data is showing that those individuals, right, in their 20s are now dealing with high blood pressure. All right, we can talk about high cholesterol and all that stuff, but our discussion today is high blood pressure, are dealing with it in their 20s. And the thing to deal with it, a lot of the times it's not dealing with the source of the high blood pressure. Sometimes it can be genetic, but a lot of people are on medication for high blood pressure. If you think of people you know, all right, do you know anyone who's on high blood pressure medication? And again, this isn't to judge or anything like that. These are just the facts that we see. If you were to ask yourself, do you know anyone? Are you yourself on high blood pressure medication? All right. You'd probably think of one or two, or maybe a friend, all right, who is dealing with something like that. I know myself, know numerous individuals, and work with numerous clients, all right? And that's something before I even begin, and this is how important it is. That's something before I even begin working with someone, all right? That is one of 5 and 7, I should say, initial questions that is asked in a consultation, all right? Blood pressure, all right? So that's how important it is because it's so prevalent out there. We have to know, all right? If you do have high blood pressure, you have to go see a doctor for that. I need a doctor's note to be able to work with you, all right? It's a serious topic, and I want to take some time, answer your questions, and talk about some foods that are going to help to lower blood pressure naturally. Now we'll talk about the foods. I'll give you my little take on lifestyle change because I think they both have to go together on their own. Go together. They can't be separate or on their own. So feel free to ask your questions. Joshua, spinach is the best way to lower blood pressure. Well, we'll get into that, Joshua. It's a great one, all right? Some leafy green vegetables. I got one that I really wanted to start with, all right? one that I thought was probably one of the best, maybe underlooked. All right. And let me know in chat if you guys are eating any of these foods. Say hi. Let me know I can be heard. I know Joshua can hear me. Let me know that you guys can hear me in the chat. It's always greatly appreciated. But I think one of the best and maybe one of the most underrated, and I want to do a video on this, all right, is going to be a video for some recipes, not specifically for blood pressure, but beets, all right, and beet juice. So beets and beet juice, very, very good for lowering blood pressure naturally. Again, you're going to want to speak with your medical practitioner. All right, you can add these foods into your diet. Speak with your medical practitioner about it. All right, and they go hand in hand. But one of the best ones is going to be beets. Thanks, Joshua. I appreciate it. So we already know beets are packed with vitamins and minerals, tons of nutrients, very nutrient dense. But we also know not only are they high in nutrition, all right, but like vitamins and minerals, but also in dietary fiber. That's why I would rather you eat the beets or put the beets in a smoothie, and this is why I want to make a video on it. All right, how to prepare beets. Look at the very first video of this channel. You'll know how to do that. 11 years ago, I think I created it. But I'd rather you have the beets than the beet juice. All right. A lot of times you'll see, yes, beet juice, very healthy, and it can still help with blood pressure. But when you're juicing the beet, all right, and not eating it whole or as a smoothie, all right, you're losing the dietary fiber. And the dietary fiber is very important for overall heart health. All right. Blood pressure, cholesterol, tons of different things. So beets, exceptional, very nutritious. And as we see in numerous studies, can help to promote healthy blood pressure levels. So if you're dealing with blood pressure right now, high blood pressure, beets might be something you want to add. If you don't like beets or, on them in and of themselves, beet juice, there's tons of recipes. I want to make some for the channel. You can easily add them to your diet. You can always find a recipe that works for you. Trust me. I used to not like a lot of foods that I eat now. I used to hate green tea. I'm drinking green tea right now. 2 bags, in fact. So I would like some nice loose leaf green tea, but unfortunately there wasn't any around. But I got my green tea here. Wasn't a fan of green tea. Now I have green teas every single day. So there's always something, all right, you can do to add it. I would add beets. So numerous studies, guys, beets have been shown to help promote the lowering of blood pressure levels. Now, why? One of the biggest things, nitrates, all right. They're high in nitrates, but different from those nitrates, those bad nitrates that you hear from like sandwich meats or from like fast food, those type of nitrates. These healthy nitrates, found in very few other foods, by the way, all right, will relax blood vessels. They're natural vasodilators, all right, what we call them. All right, so they're vasodilators, which just means they help to relax blood vessels, which can have a positive effect on lowering our blood pressure levels. And we see this in numerous studies. So healthy nitrates, all right. Again, when we're talking about, how much do we need to have? How much, how much either beets or beet juice should I be having? If you're going to add beets, all right, say they were cooked or added to a smoothie, I would say anywhere from like 100 to 250 grams consumed consistently. Right? If you're eating them consistently, we see in studies that you're going to see a reduction in blood pressure levels within weeks. That's how amazing beets are, and that's why I wanted to start with it today. Beets are a tremendous food for lowering blood pressure naturally. All right? You can see almost a correction, almost your blood pressure going down, and the really almost crazy thing about some certain studies is it was a significant reduction in blood pressure. It wasn't just a small drop, but we see, up to 5, all right, say you're like, let's just say 140 over, 95, all right. I think in some of the studies they saw up to a 5-point change. So just by adding that amount of beets, so let's say cooked beets, 200 grams of beets for 2 weeks, right, it could bring it down to 140. Now that's 140 over 95 could bring it down to 135 to 90. Much better, but again, this is why you got to speak with your medical practitioner. I'm just telling you what the studies are showing. But how amazing, just by adding one food, you can make that significant of a difference to your blood pressure. Okay, and again, that can be for beet juice as well. I would have a cup. You don't need to have any more than that. I think 250 milliliters, so a cup of beet juice would be fine just in of itself. Again, you're going to lose on some of the fiber, but you're going to get all of the nitrates, which is the important thing here, the vasodilator effects, and also all of the amazing nutrients. All right, now also, and this is why you'll hear sometimes or see people promoting beet juice as a pre-workout, or if they're going to be playing a sport, have it before playing sports. It's because it's a vasodilator. So for people who work out, it's that pump, if you've heard of it. All right, you're getting more blood flow through the body, more circulation, all right, which is better because if you can do that, you're getting more oxygen to the muscles and you can perform better. So it's a performance enhancer. That's why you'll hear about that, because the nitrates that are found in them. Now, the other nice thing is, when it comes to beets, yes, it can have these short-term effects, but it also has nice preventative effects as well. I mean, if you're just adding it to your diet, you're going to see, we already just said, within weeks. All right, I don't like saying weeks because, that can be, depends on the sample size. This was a fairly good sample size. It was thousands. So, I would just be careful. Maybe not that fast, but if you're going to have it for months, and again, it doesn't have to just be beets. It can be any of the foods we're about to talk about. You can make substantial differences, but even as a preventative measure, all right, say it runs in your family, say it's genetic, blood pressure runs in your family, having beets in your diet is going to help to prevent high blood pressure, all right, and keep your heart healthy and keep your heart strong, all right, which is great, which is what we really want. Thank you so much for the thumbs up, guys. So the first one is going to be beets. Appreciate you all. Which are the best foods to lower blood pressure fast? All right, that's a good question, Joshua. Beets is obviously going to be up there. Berries are going to be up there. I wouldn't look at fast, all right? When we're thinking fast, all right, and here's why I don't want to say fast. That's kind of why I kind of not corrected myself, but took a step back there. Don't look at it in terms of weeks. Look at it in terms of months, years, and then preventative effects. So helping to prevent chronic blood pressure, high blood pressure, or high blood pressure later on down the road. It's a great question. We all want things fast. Fast would be like your medications. All right, fast would be like your doctors. Now you can speed the process up by adding these foods, working out, losing weight, all of that stuff is going to help tremendously. All right. So, and it depends what your definition of fast is. So if we're talking about a couple weeks, even still, that's going to be tough. But over a couple months, if you're adding in these foods, if you're losing some weight, if you're dealing with that, if you're working out and getting your movement in, I think you'd be very surprised how fast that you can change your blood pressure. All right. If you have high blood pressure, if it's genetic, this is why you need to speak with your doctor. So beets, guys. Beets, an amazing one. Again, that's why I love to put it first. Again, now, Joshua, going back to you, I can't forget about you. Again, it's like beets. Remember I had mentioned nitrates are fairly rare when it comes to finding them in foods. Spinach, like you had said early, Joshua. All right, going back to your comment, which I see here, you said spinach. Spinach will also have healthy nitrates, guys. So spinach is also a nice one for those nitrates. All right, so you can just add that one in there. All right, I wasn't going to have it in, but we can throw spinach in there. Thanks, Joshua, for adding that one in. And I'll say just really quickly off the top of my head, yes, I know that nitrates are found in spinach. Not quite as high as in beets, I don't believe, but they have those healthy heart nitrates, which are good for blood pressure lowering. Now, if you can, say hi in chat, guys. Do not be shy again. I love answering your questions. We always have our topic. Joshua's doing a great job. Joshua's crushing it right now. Say hi. Let me know where you're listening from. You guys know how much I appreciate that. Let me say how much I appreciate having you guys listening right now, how much I appreciate you guys thumbing up the video. I hope you're enjoying it. Let's talk about our next one, guys. All right, so our first one is going to be beets. An amazing choice when it comes to lowering blood pressure naturally. Now, here's our next one. All right, again, these are Usually I don't like to do the umbrella, but the next one, all right, again, I always talk about berries, but let's not underestimate citrus fruits here, guys. Citrus fruits would be another one that are going to be great for lowering blood pressure naturally. Maybe you've heard of this, all right? And I always say this, whenever citrus fruits comes up, everyone's always bringing up lemons, limes, oranges sometimes, but I always say the most underrated, all right, because we know lemons and limes are great. Lemon water, lime water, all of that stuff. Orange is very healthy. It's one of the fruits that I would go to. All right, remember there's certain ones that I would choose over the other. Oranges would be up there. I don't have them a ton, but I think the most underrated, all right, citrus fruit is grapefruit. And I think grapefruit, I was going to put any of the citrus fruits at the top of the list when it comes to blood pressure lowering effects, it would have to be grapefruit. And maybe you've heard of this. There was like a thing in the 90s where it was really, really, people were trying to lower cholesterol and trying to improve heart health, lower cholesterol, everything to do with the heart. I mean, and it was low fat was mixed in there a little bit. That came a little bit from the 80s. But people were having grapefruit and egg whites for breakfast. Pretty much, that was a fad. It's almost like today, celery juice or something along those lines. Back then, it was grapefruit in the morning. You would start your morning off with a grapefruit, and then you would have egg whites because there would be no fat. You would have no yolk, no cholesterol. So you'd have the egg whites with a grapefruit, and that was going to be your healthy meal for the day. I agree to a certain extent, but I think when it comes to lowering blood pressure levels, grapefruit is amazing. I also think lemons are amazing. Limes are amazing. All right, great benefits when it comes to lowering blood pressure. Again, all of these citrus fruits, not just grapefruit, but lemons, oranges, limes, all of those things loaded with vitamins and minerals and plant compounds. All right, that's the important part. Plant compounds, think about some antioxidants, guys. Some really, really healthy antioxidants that aren't found in many other foods, all right, when it comes to lowering blood pressure. All right, can one, keep your heart healthy, all right, so reduce the risk of heart disease, but two, and important for this discussion, reduce the risk of high blood pressure. All right, so not as well at lowering blood pressure, can it? Absolutely. All right, grapefruit for sure, but it also has a great preventative effect. All right, great preventative effect if it runs in your family. All right, that's why I love people, if they do have high blood pressure, grapefruit. Stay away from, everyone always goes for the juices, and I'm not a big fan of the juices, guys, because one, you lose some of the vitamins, and in lemons, in grapefruits, limes, they have pectin fiber, which is amazing, and it's super heart healthy. So you're getting rid of the stuff that's going to help with the blood pressure. All right, you're getting rid of some of the stuff that's going to help with it. All right, so if you can, as best you can, have it whole. All right, the grapefruit, or put it in a smoothie, and that's the videos that I want to make. I have a really cool video idea that I want to put up on the channel this week. But try to have the whole grapefruit, if you're going to have a lemon, it's very hard to eat lemons. I don't know a lot of people who do it. Some people do. If you do, props to you. I've never done it myself. Maybe added it to a smoothie here or there, but you can just squeeze the lemon juice. People just throw the lemons in, kind of chop them up or slice them and throw them in. I would squeeze those lemons just right in there. All right, squeeze the sliced lemons into your water so that you get some of the pectin benefits from it. All right, amazing blood pressure lowering effects. All right, these citrus fruits, guys, loaded with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, fiber. If you're going to be making sure that you're not just throwing it in there whole, you got to make sure you squeeze some of that pectin into there. All right, you kind of want to see it floating around. That's how you know you did a good job. That's what I tell all my clients. Try to see if you know you did a good job, if you can kind of see little bits of it floating around in there. Since 1990, egg yolk and brown spots meat. Did you see it? It's interesting you say that. I've seen that a little bit, Joshua. Twin eggs was from chickens. Yeah, twin eggs, absolutely. Like the double yolks, I think you're talking about, huh, Joshua? Yeah, very uncommon, but still more common than it was before. Sonia, great to see you. Sonia, how you doing this morning? Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate having you in here, Sonia, Fit Team member. Sonia, hope you're having a happy, healthy Sunday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. And everyone else who's in here, thank you. I appreciate it. You're almost at 20 thumbs up. You guys are crushing it. Thank you so much for the support. So I hope that helps put a little bit of perspective on citrus fruits. So we have beets, we have citrus fruits, one of my favorite, grapefruit. We saw, all right, again, in numerous studies, just looking at orange and grapefruits, all right, can help with blood pressure, all right, blood pressure lowering abilities, and, you know, even better, having that ability to prevent high blood pressure. All right, so you get a little bit of that ability to prevent chronic disease. The thing I'll just say, if you're going to have grapefruit, I've said a ton of different things about how great it is. It can interfere with some medications, so just be careful, because I know if you're on some medications, you can't have grapefruit. That's usually the one that can, interfere with it just a little bit. So do please speak with your medical practitioner. That's why I always say this. All right, I would hate for you to be on some sort of medication right now, even if it is high blood pressure medication, high cholesterol, it could interfere. I would hate to have that happen. So that's why I always say speak with your medical practitioner. Speak with them. It should say on the medication itself. But grapefruit is usually one of those foods that is going to cause some interference. All right, now let's get into the next one here as I'm drinking my morning green tea. I don't know if you guys are a big fan of green tea. Let me know if you are in the chat. I'm a huge green tea drinker. Love green tea, multiple green teas a day. Amazing. L-theanine, all right? Some people pronounce it L-theanine, other ways, but L-theanine, I believe. All right, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. All right, an amino acid that you'll usually only find from tea plant. All teas come from the same plant, by the way. I should say non-herbal teas, like your whites, your greens, your black teas. Okay, just different parts of it, different process in making it. But I am a big fan of green tea. If you are, all right, very healthy for the heart, very healthy for lowering blood pressure as well. Yes, you mentioned about green tea was antioxidants. Yes, absolutely. Tremendous antioxidants. Those catechins, all right. Catechin antioxidants, very, very healthy. EGCG, exceptional. All right, the L-theanine I really love from the green tea. Tremendous, can really help with lowering blood pressure in and of itself. All right, so I really could put green tea on this list, and this is why I'm kind of just off the top of my head adding to it as I take a sip. But amazing antioxidants, which is going to be good for reducing inflammation, which is great for reducing the risk of acute disease, but especially chronic disease, whether that's heart disease, whether that's Alzheimer's disease because of inflammation throughout the brain and through other inflammation throughout the digestive system, which could cause us issues. I'm a big fan of green tea, white tea, black tea, all of it. A lot of the times in some of the studies, you'll see green tea slightly ahead in L-theanine, how much L-theanine is in green tea than the others. But it's a great mix, great for lowering, great for our heart. Let's just put it that way. Can help to lower blood pressure levels, but great for our heart overall, great for our minds overall. So it wasn't on my list, but I thought I'd just throw that in there. So thank you for putting up with me on that. So I hope we got the idea, guys. Beets and citrus fruits, very important for lowering blood pressure. Okay, thanks again, Sonia. And that's awesome, Joshua. You love green tea. If there's any other green tea fans in chat, let me know. I'm thinking about coming out with a tea myself. All right, so if that's something that you guys would be interested in, that's how much I'm into tea. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. Now, let's get into some other ones here. All right. I want something for everyone. So we have beets. Not everyone might be a fan of beets. I'm going to come out with some recipe ideas, all right, some videos that's going to make it super easy for you guys to add beets to your diet. Super easy. You won't even know that you're tasting them. The other ones that I would put in here, all right, beans and lentils. Okay, so we had our beets, we had our citrus fruits. Let's take it another way, go to legumes, and we have beans and lentils, all right? And we can just say beans and beans in themselves, but we'll throw lentils in there as well. I'm not a green tea fan. Yeah, you know what, Sonia? I was not a green tea fan. I could not drink green tea for the longest time. Now I put 2 tea bags in it, and I don't know how much is actually in here. Probably about, I'd say 500 milliliters, 24 ounces, somewhere in and around there. And I'll drink 2 of these a day. The stronger, the better. And I just let the tea bag sit in there. I'm going to have the strongest green tea I think that you can have, because it's been here since the beginning of this stream, and I'm still sipping on it. But I didn't used to be a big green tea fan. Okay, it just sort of, I don't know why. I get like that. Certain foods, just not a fan. Lemon water was not a fan, now a huge fan of. It stains your teeth. Okay, Sonia, yes. A lot of people will say that about coffee, and like even turmeric. If you're worried about that, Sonia, you can always have cool green tea, so it's not hot. Or if you had, I wouldn't do it either though. I'd make sure it was cool, a good temperature. Use like not a plastic straw, obviously. All right, they have those straws. I forget what they're made out of. But drink it from a straw if you can. All right, if you're not a fan of it just because it stains your teeth and not the taste, drink it through a straw. That's going to help to prevent any staining. I like people to drink their lemon water even through a straw if they can, or through a water bottle that has something that you can flip up and then drink through it that way, because then it's not staining, and even more, it's not causing tooth enamel damage. All right, it's very acidic. It can cause damage to our enamel. But cold green tea is good for dental, not coffee. It can cause stain on the teeth. Yeah, you would just have to drink it through a straw again. That way it's not making as much contact with the teeth. But let's be honest here, Sonia and Joshua. If you're drinking tea, if you're drinking coffee through a straw, will that help? Yes. Will it mean there's going to be no staining whatsoever? Probably not. You're probably going to have a little bit. I mean, you can't stop it from hitting every tooth. It's just impossible. But the front ones, that's why people will normally do it. Hope that helps. I'm a big fan of green tea. It's very, very, very healthy. So the staining of the teeth, Sonia, absolutely, I 100% get it. Same thing, a lot of people with what they'll do is they'll have coffee and then immediately brush their teeth. So let's go beans and lentils here, guys. Beans and lentils. If you're just coming into the chat, the first ones for lowering blood pressure, I would suggest that you listen to the beginning, but let's just go right off the top of the head. We got beets. Beet juice to a certain extent, yes, absolutely, but I would rather you have the full beet so you can have them prepared, cooked, or you can put it in a smoothie. So beets or beet juice. Then citrus fruits, if we were to rank them, I would put grapefruit first. And then probably somewhere, these are probably all in the same line, but probably lemons, limes, and oranges. All right, oranges being at the bottom. But grapefruit's tremendous. Next, we go with beans and lentils. Now, beans and lentils are amazingly healthy for our body, rich in nutrients, but they have a ton of nutrients, so vitamins, minerals, especially dietary fiber. And this is why I said this is what the best part. It all kind of goes together. Right? The reason why I'm not a huge fan if you're just using a juicer for the beets is you're losing the dietary fiber. What we see in beans and lentil studies, that they are so helpful in helping to regulate and helping to lower blood pressure levels, high blood pressure levels, right? Because they are rich in nutrients like magnesium, like potassium. Those are 2 really important ones, by the way, guys. If you're looking you always want foods that are high in potassium and magnesium. So bananas could be a good one. But beans and lentils, super high in magnesium, super high in manganese and potassium, but really good levels of fiber. And we see from numerous studies that fiber can help to lower and regulate high blood pressure levels. So that's why it goes back to the beets. And even you see in grapefruits and citrus fruits, good levels of fiber in those fruits as well. Right? That's why I love grapefruit. Grapefruit's amazing. It has everything. Red beans are your favorite. That's the nice thing too, Joshua. Great point. You can basically have any beans you want. You notice that I didn't say black beans or navy beans or separate them. It's beans in general, all right? I think I have 8 studies, and it didn't even differentiate from anything. Maybe one used black beans, all right? But black beans, kidney beans, navy beans, white beans, black-eyed, whatever. The list goes on and on, right? You can use them all, guys. So we have numerous studies. There's tons of studies. I just said 8, all right? But there's way more than that, because these are the good thing about meta-analysis and they'll use multiple studies. So multiple studies that show eating beans and lentils, all right, regularly. Again, you can't just have it like one time a day, one small little serving, one time a week, all right, one time a week, one small serving a week, and then expect there to be any help with lowering blood pressure levels. You need to be eating them consistently. What does that mean? Every day, maybe every other day, and then keep that going, right? Everyone's always looking at it week by week. Oh, how many times in a week should I have, in this case, let's say black beans? Well, maybe every day, maybe every other day. The important thing is, all right, let's say every other day you're to have them. Let's say every 3 days. The important thing is you keep that up every 3 days for the next year. That's the important thing, or next 6 months, and see how that helps. So there were some really, really good studies, guys. All right, hundreds of people, all right, were shown. They exchanged, all right, beans and lentils for some of the other foods that were in their diet, and they saw a significant lowering of blood pressure in these individuals. All right, a significant, again, lowering of blood pressure and average blood pressure levels. And this is with people who some of them had hypertension, and some had fairly healthy levels of blood pressure levels. All right, so it can help everyone. All right, we know beans are tremendous. Red beans are good too, absolutely, Joshua. So very, very helpful. All right, again, this is acute and it can be chronic. All right, so it can help to prevent, and lower blood pressure acutely, or it can help to prevent, especially if it runs in your family, all right, high blood pressure sneaking up later on in life. All right, and we see that, all right, significantly lowering blood pressure, all right, the average blood pressure levels for these hundreds of people, all right, with and without high blood pressure, hypertension they used in the study. So absolutely amazing. Beans and lentils, those are 2 great ones, guys. So if you aren't having beets, try adding some beets into your diet. Let me know some ones that you guys might be liking. Not everyone's a fan of every food, that's for sure. Now, there's another one that I would say here that's going to be really good. And again, I want to give one for a little bit of, one for everyone, one that someone can take and maybe they're not the biggest fan of, beets, citrus fruits, beans and lentils, but one that I think most people, especially in today's day and age, all right, like I could say garlic, all right, like a garlic, it's going to be amazing. Garlic is it's one of the most heart healthy foods. All right, why? It has allicin in it, all right, which can help to reduce blood pressure levels. All right, it gets released. All right, I always tell people to chop it up or crush it and let it sit for like 10 minutes. That's when it's released. All right, and that's why a lot of people use garlic supplements, even doctors. All right, because it has such great effectiveness for lowering hypertension. All right, so I could say garlic, but not everyone's a huge fan of garlic. I'm a huge fan of garlic. I love it. But one that I think most people are gonna like is gonna be sweet potatoes. All right, sweet potatoes are a great one. Why? Because sweet potatoes super rich in potassium and magnesium, all right, which are essential for if you're low in either of those 2 nutrients, you might have some issues with blood pressure. But even if you aren't, all right, if we can increase potassium and magnesium, all right, we can start to see, all right, and start to have some of those blood pressure reducing effects. Again, why sweet potatoes? All right, they always go to sweet potatoes because they're a great source of fiber. All right, so I think you guys might be starting to see a trend here. All right, what's important? Well, we know the nutrients that are important are going to be things like potassium, magnesium, manganese, and then also dietary fiber. All right, so we need to get that dietary fiber in there. So a good, carbohydrate, all right, a complex carbohydrate which most people seem to enjoy. Easy to make. All right, you can just bake them. You can cut them up and bake them. Some people will even do it in a microwave. I would bake them if I was to suggest one, but very easy to make and add to your diet. And you can put a little bit of olive oil on them, and then maybe a little bit of a hint of some sort of herbs. Again, you try to if you're talking about lowering blood pressure, we don't cut sodium to 0, but you have to watch your sodium intake. So we just want to make sure that we're watching that. All right, so we got Sonia and we got Joshua in here. Is anyone else in here listening from? Will you let me know where you're listening from? That'd be great. I know where Sonia and Joshua both are from and both listening from, but if there's anyone else, say hi, ask your questions. This is the time to do it, especially if you have any questions related to blood pressure, foods, lifestyle, lowering blood pressure. Now's the time to do it. But big shout out to Sonia. Big shout out to Joshua. Thank you so much, guys. Now, another one that I think has to be on the list, all right, has to be on the list is salmon, all right, or at least omega-3s, guys. Now, in the last chat, we talked a little bit about the importance of omega-3s, but what we want to talk about today is the significant heart health benefits and excellent heart health benefits that omega-3 fats play, all right, omega-3 fats, which are much harder to come by than your omega-6s. All right, avocado could be on the list. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Very easy to get those other fat sources, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated. All right, we can get those fairly easy. All right, nuts and seeds, very easy. All right, any nuts and seeds like walnuts, almonds, pistachios, which are quite healthy. Those are going to be easy for you to get those monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. Walnuts, a little bit of omega-3s as well, but if you really want to see a difference, really want to start to lower blood pressure, then I would go omega-3 fats, and salmon is the easiest way to do that, unless you're getting it from a supplement. Let me just catch up on chat here. I just ate lentil stew last couple days ago. Was on Friday early evening, and it was good for gut because you're gonna have good fiber. Today I just finished sweet potato, tuna, broccoli. Was good for fiber. Well, sweet potato, tuna, and broccoli, that's like your classic, almost like your chicken, rice, and broccoli meal. Well, I love that sweet potato, tuna, and broccoli. Hopefully that tastes good to you, Joshua. I love that because 1, you're getting good protein. 2, you have sweet potato, a great complex carbohydrate, and then you have your vegetable, your green leafy vegetable, broccoli. Very, very good. The only thing you're missing is just a little bit of fat, but that's fine. You can always add that in another meal. Listening from Atlanta, Texas. My first time hearing you. Well, thank you, Gary. Thanks for bringing that up. Atlanta, Texas. Awesome. I'm a Cowboys fan, so Atlanta, Texas. Is there an Atlanta in Texas, or is it Atlanta, Gary? Sorry, I'm from Canada. I know my geography fairly well, I'd like to think, but I believe you're saying in Texas. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, because if you're from Atlanta, you probably don't want to hear how much I'm a Cowboys fan. But thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. Great to have you in here, especially listening for the first time. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the Fit Team, Gary. Thank you. So like I was saying, salmon and other fatty fish, but salmon's going to be one of your best sources for omega-3 fats, guys. Omega-3 fats. You can have salmon, mackerel, sardines. Those are all amazing sources of omega-3 fats. The other thing is you can have a fish oil supplement. Just make sure that it's good. Do you have to have this every day? I would not have it every day. All right. You can get a little bit of mercury. All right. With the fish, you just got to be careful. Even with some supplements, you got to be careful. All right. Good EPA and DHA in those fish oil supplements as well, which is always nice for blood pressure. So, make sure you're getting a high quality supplement. Make sure you're getting high quality salmon if you are having it often. But why is it so great? Well, we know that omega-3s, hard to come by, can provide significant heart health benefits. All right, one of those significant heart health benefits, reducing blood pressure levels. And it can reduce blood pressure levels, guys, by reducing inflammation. All right. And then there's compounds that can constrict. We talked about in beets vasodilators, so nitrates. All right. We talked about that. All right. We know that if there's inflammation, and those nitrates were a vasodilator. All right. So remember, they helped open up and relax the blood vessels. Well, if we have too much inflammation in the body, it can actually constrict the blood vessels. And when this happens, that can have a negative effect on our blood pressure levels. All right, but we know through fatty fish and through omega-3s, reduce inflammation and can help to get rid of compounds that can constrict blood flow in the blood vessels. I think they're called oxylipins, if I'm not mistaken. So it can get rid of oxylipins that can constrict, all right, blood flow, constrict blood vessels, the exact opposite of what we've been talking about and what we want to do to help lower blood pressure levels. Remember, beets have nitrates, all right, that's why they're so amazing. Spinach has nitrates, vasodilators. We want to get rid of these blood vessel constricting compounds. Oxylipins, I believe they are called. Yes, just took the last 2 texts about 20 miles. Oh, so of Texarkana. That's funny. These are all areas I've heard of, Gary, so that's awesome. Well, welcome from Texas. That's awesome. Great having you here. Thank you for saying where you're listening from. And again, thank you for coming in for the first time. And thank you so much, guys, for the thumbs up. We have people flowing in here. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you coming in on a Sunday morning and talking a little bit about heart health with me. So I appreciate that, and I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Now another one, pumpkin seeds, guys. Pumpkin seeds, tremendous. Now we want a nut or seed variety. All right, you can see that it's a little bit of everything. All right, that's what I always like to do. A little bit of something for everyone. Doesn't matter what type of diet you're following, what you need to add to your diet. I always like making sure we have all our bases covered. So I think one of the best, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of that's awesome, Joshua, listening while you're cleaning. Vera, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you. But I think you guys know I'm a big fan of almonds and walnuts, all right? 2 nut varieties, 2 of the best, I think. All right, but when it comes to lowering blood pressure levels, one of the best that you can consume, all right, and for seed varieties is pumpkin seeds. And pumpkin seeds are already one of my favorite seed varieties, but there's flaxseed, which is also good for your health. There's chia seeds, all right, also good for heart health. But I think pumpkin seeds need to be near the top, if not the top, when it comes to lowering blood pressure naturally. And let's talk a little bit about that, guys. Again, do you need to eat large amounts of pumpkin seeds? Absolutely not. I would have it in moderation. All right, there's 2 reasons for that. One, all right, they're packed with these essential nutrients that are going to help to lower blood pressure levels, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But they're going to be higher in fat, which means higher in calories. And pumpkin seeds are small. It's not hard to eat a bunch of pumpkin seeds really quickly. And so we want to make sure that we're not, having too many calories at the same time. So why are pumpkin seeds so helpful to naturally lower blood pressure levels? Well, pumpkin seeds, right, they're great for blood pressure control and lowering blood pressure, so regulating and lowering, because they're packed with tremendous blood pressure lowering nutrients. And what are some of those? We've talked about some of them already. All right, one being potassium. All right, potassium, super important. The other super important one, remember, was magnesium, guys. But the other thing, and you can say the same thing about beets, not as much, more in pumpkin seeds, and this is why I'm putting pumpkin seeds on my list here, all right, is they have an amino acid called arginine. Maybe you've heard of it, all right, an important amino acid called arginine. And why is arginine so important, especially for lowering blood pressure? Well, you need arginine, all right, this important amino acid, for the production of nitric oxide. All right, and again, now, why is the production of nitric oxide so important? Well, it's essential for, again, what did we talk about before with beets? It's essential for blood vessel relaxation, vasodilation of the blood vessels, not that constriction, which we don't want, and for blood pressure reduction. Numerous studies on all of those points that I just made. All right, so tremendous. Just by eating those pumpkin seeds, we get all of those tremendous, tremendous benefits. So have your pumpkin seeds, guys. Have your pumpkin seeds. Some fiber in them as well, all right? But magnesium, potassium, and I think the one that makes them stand out the most, at least in my notes here, they have that essential amino acid, or sometimes that's called a semi-essential. But either way, it has the important amino acid arginine, which helps with the production of nitric oxide, leading to blood vessel relaxation, vasodilation, and a reduction of reduction of blood pressure. So, very powerful natural remedy for high blood pressure. Again, it's seen in numerous studies. How many pumpkin seeds should you eat? I would just do like a small palmful a day. I think that's more than enough. You don't have to eat much more than that. When it comes to almonds or walnuts, again, you're going to get some of the same health benefits, but you're missing out a little bit on that arginine. Again, it's like 10 almonds, 12 almonds at a time. I usually do like 10 halves of walnuts or 12 halves of walnuts. You don't need a lot because those calories add up fast, guys. And they're so packed with these nutrients that you don't need a lot. That's the nice thing too, right? You don't need a lot because they're so nutrient dense. So that's the important part. They're extremely nutrient dense. All of the foods that we've listed today are all very, very nutrient dense, from sweet potatoes to grapefruits to beets to salmon, omega-3s, all of that great stuff. Sorry, I'm just going to take a sip of my green tea here. And then again, things like lemons and limes. I mean, you just can't beat that sort of stuff. Now, if we look at, herbs and spices. There's a lot, guys. There's a lot that can help. Here are two of my favorites. All right, Ceylon cinnamon. I'm going to spell it in chat. All right, Ceylon cinnamon. All right, Ceylon cinnamon. Going to be great. Cinnamon in general, but I would take Ceylon over cassia if you can. Go for Ceylon cinnamon. Cinnamon, really, really good for blood pressure, guys. Can help reduce blood pressure. Again, help relax blood vessels. All right, powerful antioxidant compounds, which can really help with heart health and reduce blood pressure. But we've seen in these studies, all right, things like cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon especially, all right, great blood pressure lowering potential, all right, blood pressure lowering abilities, okay, which is awesome. Ceylon cinnamon is a great one. Ginseng to a certain extent is a good one. I think one even better would be ginger. I think ginger is amazing. I think a smoothie idea. I don't know if I want to let the idea out just yet. I kind of want to surprise you guys, but I'm gonna come up with it's an energy smoothie, but it's gonna be great for overall heart health. Maybe I won't let you guys in. I apologize, but you gotta wait for it because it's this amazing smoothie. I really haven't seen. It's probably out there if I searched it. I don't really search it before I kind of think of it. I kind of just think of the foods, but it's this amazing energy boosting smoothie that I really like, that is also going to be really helpful for high blood pressure and heart health. So be on the lookout for that. All right, and I'm going to videotape it. I'm going to actually make it and videotape it and then post that up. I think we're going to have more videos like that, to be honest with you guys. So herbs and spices, powerful compounds, blood pressure reducing abilities. I would go with your Ceylon cinnamon, your ginseng to a certain extent. Again, if I was going to do one more, I would probably say like cumin or curcumin. All right, cumin or curcumin. Of course, curcumin found in turmeric, however you want to pronounce it. People pronounce it different in every video that I see it or that I watch or who I talk in face-to-face with. They all pronounce it in a different way. It's kind of funny. But I like to say curcumin. Most people seem to get it when I say that. So I would say those would be your best herbs and spices. We already mentioned garlic, guys. We already mentioned garlic. being one of the best ones. And again, not everyone's a fan of it. So, like I said, I always like to give different ideas. Some people might not like garlic. I don't know a lot of people who don't like cinnamon, especially Ceylon cinnamon. How about apple cider vinegar? Apple cider vinegar is kind of a toss-up. It's a great question. I'm glad that you asked it. Thanks for asking the question, Vera. Would it be on my list? It wouldn't be on my list. It's thought of to help regulate. I haven't seen much of lowering, really, in research of blood pressure. When it comes to apple cider vinegar, here's what I always say, right? Is it good for blood pressure? I haven't seen any research done or any research studies that actually show that it's proven to help lower blood pressure. So I would say my easy answer would be no. Right? Where for apple cider vinegar, where I think it really shines is its ability to help with digestion. Now that can go one of two ways. It can help with digestion for some people, and it can create GERD symptoms for some individuals. It's good for the skin. It can be helpful for inflammation. But apple cider vinegar for blood pressure, I would say no, Vera. Okay, there just hasn't been any studies that verify that. Some people might claim that. You'll see that claimed a lot. You'll also see apple cider vinegar claimed to melt belly fat off people. All right, which there's just really certain studies that are kind of handpicked to kind of back up that claim. But if you're eating a surplus of calories or even at maintenance calories, you're not going to be burning any belly fat. You can drink as much apple cider vinegar as you want. So I would say no on the apple cider vinegar question, Vera. And again, that's just my take. I just haven't seen any research from that. So great question, because apple cider vinegar is very important, especially in the health community. So thank you, Vera, for that question. Joshua, great question here. What about ground ginger? Absolutely, Joshua. Ground ginger is just fine, as long as it's coming from a good source of ginger, from ginger root, actual ginger root. All right. If it's ground ginger, that's fine. I kind of like ground ginger because you can add it to smoothies. So ground ginger is nice. You're going to get all of the benefits from it as long as it's from a good source. As long as it always comes back to the source, guys. Oh, no problem, Vera. My pleasure. Thank you for your question. But that's what I would say when it comes to apple cider vinegar. And that's a great question, Joshua. Ground ginger, yeah, absolutely fine. Just make sure it's coming right from that ginger root and from a great source. Organic, all that stuff, if you can. You know the deal. Non-GMO, hard to find. And even if it says that it is, we still don't always know where it's potentially coming from. So that's a discussion for a whole other day. But those are great questions. That's why I love when you guys ask your questions, because then we can kind of, pick and choose things where it's like apple cider vinegar. It's out there, but there has been no, and it's a great question. There's been no research to show that apple cider vinegar can help with lowering blood pressure. Where it can get claimed that it can help to lower blood pressure, maybe through weight loss, through a speeding up of the metabolism, so then maybe people can sort of correlate that to a loss in body weight, which can help with blood pressure, but still, that's kind of a stretch there. I think if you drink to lose weight, you got to be in a calorie deficit. That's thermodynamics 101. But I love your questions, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, see where people go with it, Vero? I've seen some interesting videos, to say the least. But that's usually what you'll find online. Those are videos that people are going to say. And some of those videos, unfortunately, the title is more... how can I say it? The title is more interesting than sometimes the information. Another herb. I'm trying to think of another herb for you guys. One could be saffron, but just be careful if you're having saffron. One, it's really expensive. The research is a little dated, I would say, on whether it can help with lowering blood pressure. And again, you don't want to have too much saffron. You need to make sure you're eating it in small amounts. All right, like literally, I would have 1/8 of a teaspoon and put it into tea, like a couple strands, a few strands, and you're good to go. But it's just really expensive. I would go with the other ones first. I would go with like your Ceylon cinnamon, cardamom even. Cardamom is another good one. All right, and the C's are helping me out here. So cinnamon, like cardamom. I'd go with like your cumin, curcumin. See, the C's are all bringing it back, and then like ginger. I think that's more than enough. That's a lot of herbs and spices right there, and they all have tremendous health benefits. Thank you so much for the thumbs up, guys. 26. You guys are the algorithm. You guys help get this video out here. I cannot thank you guys enough for the support. Thank you so much. Like I said, we're really getting back on these stream bandwagons. We just want to make sure that we have a time that works for everyone. Sunday seems to be a good time for most people. Black pepper, to a certain extent, it's funny because I know black cumin could. Haven't seen much on black pepper, but with black pepper, again, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it would only have positive effects, and the reason for that is it has piperine in it. So piperine can help with heart health, Vera. So again, I can't think of any studies off the top of my head where it can help with blood pressure, but the compounds that are found in it probably could. Again, tremendous anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, very underrated black pepper, I have to say. A lot of people just put it on their recipes just for taste. It has great health benefits. So black pepper can help. I would go with the other ones before black pepper. I just haven't seen it. Again, black pepper and lowering blood pressure. Haven't seen it. But again, it's not it wouldn't be at the top of the list, but it might be on the list somewhere down there. So I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. If you are, thank you again. Looks like we're on our way to 30 thumbs up. That's a great way to support the channel. Sonia, a Fit Team member here. Sonia has hit the join button and has become a Fit Team member. So big shout out to Sonia. Another way to support the channel. We have our super chat function here on the channel to support it if you feel so inclined. I think even more important than that, there's one thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is some smoothie videos, some food videos that are filmed and then posted. I really want to start getting into that. And then the other thing is doing some live streams where I'm on camera. That's going to be next. I'll probably have to get a new camera, but I have a camera where I can film. So I think that's sort of where we're heading next. That's the next direction for the channel. But again, thank you so much for your guys' support. Be on the lookout for some of these live videos. I think you guys are really going to like them. Some of these ideas, I don't know if they're out there, but some of these kind of concoctions that I make. Why? Because, I've been doing this for a little while. So it's like, what type of foods would give me more energy? Well, this would go good with this. This would go good with this. This is great for energy here. All right. And it also gives, this benefit on this one. So these two would make a good one. So I like some of the foods that I've put together. So I think those are going to be some of the newer videos that are going to be on the channel. You guys let me know what you think of that. Okay. Other than that, if there's no more questions, maybe one other one that I would put on there for heart health is avocado, just because of the monounsaturated fats that it has. Great monounsaturated fats and great levels of, if you've been listening, which nutrient am I going to say? Great levels of potassium. Higher potassium amounts in avocados than there is in bananas, believe it or not. So I would put avocados on the list as well. All right, and that's another quick one for you. Also has good levels of dietary fiber. Okay, so avocados is another good one. And I know it's popular, and I know a lot of people put it in their smoothies, myself included. So thank you so much for the support, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Big shout out to everyone here. Saju, I know you were here earlier. Joshua, big shout out to you. Sonia, huge shout out to you. Thank you, Sonia. Really appreciate you. Vera, Gary, thank you, everyone. All right, and everyone who is listening, everyone who's going to be listening to this later, of course, big thank you to you guys. Now, be on the lookout for some of these videos because I'm really interested in filming them. Our next live stream hopefully will be on Wednesday. let me know let me know in the live chat, let me know in the comments what days work for you guys, because here's my days that I'm choosing. Sunday and Wednesday. Sunday and Wednesday I would like to do live streams where the chat can interact. Sundays I just want to come on and talk about a certain topic, make it really quick. Right, so not really be like a show or go too in depth. Maybe just something that's a thought on my head, and then just talk about it really quickly, and then sign off. And then, a lot of different things that I kind of want to do going through this month and through the coming months in 2023. So, guys, thank you again. Big shout out to all of you guys. Let's keep on our path. Let's keep on our path to health. Let's keep making 2023 the best year we can. Let's keep adding these great foods into our body, into our diets, and let's just keep on going and being the best version of ourselves. So thank you, everyone, for listening. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Hopefully I will see you on Wednesday. If it's going to be before that, you'll get the notification, at least through the algorithm. It should be showing up. I get so many messages that people don't see the notifications anymore, so I usually will put it in the community tab of this channel as well. All right, but I've gotten more than enough notification messages from people saying the notifications just aren't going out anymore, so it'll be posted in the community tab. So that's today's little show. Thank you so much. I hope you took some value from it. Great speaking with you all. Great topic. Stay healthy, and I will talk to you next time, guys. Take care.